Welcome to the Flagrant Foul Fantasy Show. We focus on three major sports, the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB. And we try to give you the best content to win your fantasy leagues. Again, welcome and thank you for listening. We are now available on our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Samsung Podcasts, and Podchaser. Along with that, don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Tumblr. And please subscribe, follow, share, like, comment, or whatever you feel like. I hope you enjoy this episode. This will be a quick episode with all the injuries and updates heading into week 1 of the preseason tonight. Starting out, we have the Baltimore Ravens. The only notable update is with second-year back Keaton Mitchell. He was recently placed on the PUP list as he rehabs from his torn ACL late last season. Up next is the Carolina Panthers, who have two rookies each with their own battles at the moment. First is wideout Xavier Legette, who is day-to-day after suffering a lower leg injuries. X-rays did come back negative, and the MRI did show no fracture in his foot either, so all in all, it's pretty good news. The rookie running back Jonathan Brooks won't be playing in the preseason as he rehabs from his ACL tear last November at Texas. We all probably already knew this, but now it is official. The team is looking to make his debut by week 4 of the regular season. After that, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, who have defensive end Trey Hendrickson, who is week to week to do what is being said as a very significant chest bruise. He is the best player on the Bengals defense, so if this does somehow lead into the season, it could affect their defense to start the year. After that is the Cleveland Browns, who have great news for us, as Nick Chubb, who has been rehabbing from his horrible knee injury that he sustained early last season against the Steelers. The GM, Andrew Berry, said Chubb still has a ways to go before he can practice, but he's making strides that are way ahead of schedule, and based off the videos that have surfaced, does seem like he is making those strides to beat the expected timeline. Next up is the Detroit Lions, with second-year standout tight end Sam Laporta, who has an undisclosed injury that is affecting him short-term, but Dan Campbell has reassured us and said that he will be fine in the long term. The Houston Texans have starting running back Joe Mixon, who is making progress in his rehab from a quadricep injury during the offseason. It is said that he should be good to go by the start of the year. Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs have multiple key defensive players nursing injuries. And I will probably butcher a couple of these names, so I'm sorry for that. Here we go. Justin Reed, Derek Nyandi, Charles Omenihu, and are all out, and Nick Bolton is questionable with an undisclosed injury. The Los Angeles Chargers have two key players for this year's team on the report, starting with rookie wideout Ladd McConkey, who has left practice Saturday with an undisclosed injury and has yet to return to practice. It is believed to only hold him out for week 1 of the preseason, if that, so we may be waiting another week for his debut. The other injury, and the more serious in fantasy terms, is that of starting quarterback Justin Herbert. Number 10 is said to be dealing with plantar fasciitis. He'll be in a boot for 2 weeks, and the hope is that he can return for week 1 of the season. He is labeled as out indefinitely, though, which I hate as both a Chargers fan and a fantasy fan. It definitely could mean after 2 weeks he's fine, or it could be 6 weeks from now he's still nursing the injury. I feel like that's the NFL coaches and team doctors' way of pleading the fifth. I don't like it, and due to this, Herbert may slip down my draft board. The other LA team and the Rams have two key offensive players on the report as well, and second-year star wideout Puka Nacua. Puka is week to week with a knee injury, but that's the great news in all this, considering they thought it was a serious knee injury when he initially went down. And starting tight end Tyler Higbee will be starting the preseason on the PUP list, but is looking to be back at practice sometime late next week. The Minnesota Vikings have good news for us, as TJ Hawkinson is said to be ahead of schedule in his ACL rehab and recovery. And the New York Jets have good news for his fans, as Mike Williams was removed from the PUP list and is now looking to be back and 100% healthy from his torn ACL last season. The 49ers have RB1 in fantasy Christian McCaffrey, who has a calf strain. But he isn't likely to play this preseason anyway, so hopefully he's 100% come September. These things can linger, though, and he's had problems with injuries in the past. Hopefully this is the last we hear of this, as he should be taken number 1 or 2 overall. Another Niner is first-round pick Ricky Pearsall, who re-aggravated a shoulder injury he's been dealing with for some time. So this is definitely something to keep an eye on going into the draft season. Lastly, we have the Tennessee Titans, who have DeAndre Hopkins out for a while with an unspecified knee injury. But he won't require surgery, so take that as you may. Being the only starting wideout with rapport with quarterback Will Levis, this could leave a toss-up for targets between Hopkins, Ridley, and Boyd as the season begins next month. This is the update for the week, and I hope you are all able to take something from this, and let's enjoy a greatish weekend of football. As we all can say, the NFL is back, baby. If you ever have any fantasy questions or need some advice, don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll try to answer your questions in the mailbag section of my episodes. My email is flagrantfantasy, BELLER @gmail.com. Flagrantfantasybeller @gmail.com. Thank you.